I heard you looking for me, but the old me is dead and gone. What do you see? Same guy, but I sing a new song, and it goes like.
What does a relationship look like to you?
Oh, well, I think every relationship's different in specifics, but I think generally speaking, there's a few things for me in my relationship. I can only speak about my own relationship.
This guy,
So we're talking about like, yeah, we're talking about that kind of relationship, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not with your dog or cat or anything, like with your person. I think there's honour, trust, respect. For me, they're key principles that need to be in a relationship. Now, in regards to roles as well, I think there should be clear roles in a relationship.
Well, nice.
Yeah, what's the man and woman? What's the role?
So I wasn't talking about man and woman, but you're talking about man and woman.
What are you talking about?
Man
Man and man.
I was talking about. I'm just being.
So what's your relationship about, bro?
So you say what's about dog? What's about? So what are you talking about?
I was talking about obviously a relationship. For instance, man and woman. Yeah. So a man, I believe a man should be a leader, and he should lead. Now, a leader, and I believe this is my personal opinion. The woman's the manager.
Okay. Interesting.
So they're complementary roles.
Yeah.
But I believe a man has to set the vision. And many decisions within a family, the woman will take the lead on.
Yeah.
So it's not about being subservient, but it's about complementing each other in that regard. So that's my personal opinion on it.
Yeah.
What are your opinions?
Yeah.
Wait. I get that. It's deep, but like even in terms of like, okay, because I'm obviously not married, so I'm not in a relationship. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm just putting it out there like that.
I know, yeah, I know.
Nah, okay, so obviously I'm talking about, so okay, you're married, you're engaged. You know what I'm trying to say? So you might not on a, like, you're coming from a place of like experience, whereas for me, in terms of a relationship, what do I want, or what does it look like for me? It echoes a lot of what you said. But then I know my experiences, you know, some females don't know how to be, the subservient thing, what you were saying, and understand what submission is. And
I didn't say that, but
no, what you said about being subservient.
It's not about me.
But I'm saying, sorry. But in terms of understanding the role of a man. Understanding the role of a man in a relationship, I think that's where I've had problems before. Don't understand that, you know, the role of a man in a relationship. So like, there's a really good example, leader and manager. I've never really thought about it like that before. Do you know what I mean?
Why are your hands like that?
No, I'm intrigued.
I feel I might be wrong, and this might go. This might. Okay, you guys are being quick. So for me, when I think about a man in a relationship, you are the leader in the household. You know, you set the tone. You are the covering. You know what I'm saying? From a Christian standpoint, you are the covering. So I'm saying that's my understanding. So you are first, I guess, but I don't want to say first because I don't want to get. You might. You're the covering. So when I say this shit, you're the covering. You're the covering of everything that happens in your household. You know, wife.
Rescue that quite a while still.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why you're there. You get me? And then everything else is there. You're the protector, you're the covering. So that's why I put it like that. Not.
Nah, you just
donuts, bro.
Now you're doing the most stuff.
But what was your point?
My point is, like, I feel like for me, my point is, I feel like for me, you know, in a relationship, I do want to assume that role in it. And I think for me, the reason why I'm not in a relationship right now is because I don't think I'm in a position to actually assume that role responsibly. So I'm trying to say. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the reason why I'm not in a relationship right now. Because I don't think the reason why relationships don't go certain, don't look right sometimes, and then don't go right as well. It's because people aren't actually assuming their roles. And I think you know, I'm having read a book recently called Maximize Manhood. You know, I think if a lot of people, men anyway, because I feel like men set the tone. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I feel like we're supposed to set the tone anyway. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And a lot of men don't set the tone in their relationship, which means everything else is wayward. If you're not setting the tone and you're not directing what's happening, not in a dictatorial way, but setting the tone in terms of the vision, like you said, the vision of the house. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of people in relationships that don't actually know what their role is. Do you know what I'm saying? If a man doesn't know his role, how is he meant to then dictate or not dictate? Not dictate. What I'm saying, how is he? What I'm saying, but what I'm saying, but how is this guy? You know, like what I'm saying, if a man, you know, bro. So if a man's not actually able to know what his role is, how is he going to understand what the role of a female is in the household as well? And I think sometimes we don't know the role of a female, so cook, clean, and that's not it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that's just
man. Because the thing, like with me and this as well, like in the sense of like the whole leadership and setting the vision and that, like I 100% believe that like a man is the head of the home. But I think oftentimes that definition is like gets like thrown out of proportion so much, bro. Like so much so because. I'm 100% with what Linfield was saying in the sense of we're complementary.
Yeah.
Like if you look back in like Genesis and you see that, you know, God made man, he's like, you know, it's not good that man should be alone, and then he gives him, you know, wife, and it shows that he was, he didn't. It must have been a case of, for me, he wasn't doing. He couldn't have fulfilled his duties to the utmost ability without her, and vice versa. You understand? So like me and my wife now, if like let's say for example, I'm like to Tash, I think we should move city or something. Tash is like, I don't think we should. In that moment, I don't rise up like, but I'm the man. I'm saying we should. The way I perceive that is, yo, she's my closest confidant. Like, straight out, like, she's my best friend. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we share everything.
Oh, Tyler.
So, this guy. You know? So my perspective is if I'm thinking in one way, I'm thinking, yeah, we should go here, and she's thinking another way, I'm thinking to myself, well, what's she seeing that I don't see? Yo, we need to discuss this because, like, you got a lot to bring to the table here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are my ideas, here are yours, and we form a decision. And I think the headship comes into play with responsibility, in the sense of like we can both make that decision together, but if it goes wrong, if it goes belly up, that's on my back. And that's where I think like the headship comes in the terms of the responsibility. I think the responsibility lies with the man. Do you know what I mean? And I think like, yo, and it's hard. I was listening to John Piper talk about this, and he speaks about how like if manhood was a ministry, no one would choose it. And I used to look at like pastoralhood as like a big duty, a big task. And it's like, yo, manhood's way bigger than that. Because when you look at it from a perspective of if Tash triumphs in something, she triumphs in it. You know, and I'm like, congrats, babe. You know, you triumphed in something. You know, if I triumph in something, you know, we both triumph in it. Just like, you know, we both triumph in it. You see, if she fails, that's on me, bro. If I fail, that's on me, bro. Do you know what I mean? Not to say for a woman, it's just a win-win, they get it easy. Do you know what I mean? Not to say that at all, but in terms of like the responsibility of what happens, I feel like the onus falls on the man. And I listened to Voldy Bork, and he made a poignant point, and he summed it up by saying, anything with two heads is a monster. Do you know what I mean? And I think like the headship is given to one, but that's not like from a perspective of dictatorship. Like, man ain't said Mugabe the thing, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
do you think that understanding of a relationship is understood on both ends of the spectrum? Because at the end of the day, in reality, you know, we all kind of have a similar consensus in it, but that wasn't something that we learnt from necessarily the church or anything like that. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? That was YouTube. That was you, man, books, YouTube, all them things there. Books, and I think that, you know, it proves why we see a lot of dysfunctional relationships. I'm trying to say. And I don't want that. I really don't. I don't know.
Take self-development, really.
Yeah.
100.
And as much as we're talking about, you spoke about how you're reading book on now, how to build yourself to be a better man.
Yeah.
Likewise, when the time comes, not even when the time comes, you would really benefit from reading books on how to understand a woman too, because that will make the relationship better. And also, you could probably marry up. Okay, because I was gonna ask you, how are you gonna know when you're at the right level to be in a relationship? But then, I guess you can marry up where you are based on how you're understanding and then also your communication with women outside of the books. You know, the practical side of things.
It will show in, like you said, in my interaction with females in general, number one. But then number two, I think in my mind, I know, because I think is, I understand more now. You know, I've got examples around me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Good examples where in my life I don't necessarily have had the best examples. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Which have formed some of my traits that weren't actually great. So I thought there's certain things I used to do in relationships that, like, I just thought that's what it was. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I assume control in a certain way. You know, I thought that's what it was. But it's only now, I'm 26, and it's really quite late to be fair. 26, I'm learning like, yo, that was totally wrong. So, I mean, no matter who it was that gave me the example, you know, I formulated an ideal or an understanding of relation that's actually flawed. You know, if I'm going to try and come from a biblical standpoint and a biblical standard of what a man is and stuff, you know, and this is what then that's what I have to go by. And I think it was really crazy because in reading the book that was given, the whole thing is about manhood, but everything pointed back to being a husband and being a father. It was so mad. I was like, bro. I said, that's where a lot of it lies. And I said, like you said, responsibility. And for me anyway, when you're saying something, it's like difference of understanding responsibility isn't about control necessarily.
It's not. It just, the onus falls on you. That's all it is. Whatever decision's made, however you form those decisions, cool. But whatever happens, it falls on you. And that's why it's a big burden to carry. Like true manhood and true masculinity, from my perspective.
And with that in mind, I was just thinking about what you're saying there, and I was reading a book that said if men would be men, then women would be women. And the book was basically saying that women want a man that is strong and all that, but you've got to be worth following. Because women oftentimes they're determined, and they don't want somebody who's not determined or doesn't know where they're going. You're not going to lead someone that doesn't know where they're going. And we've seen a rise of feminism in our day, and it's kind of do you think that's because men aren't taking responsibility?
Men don't know their roles.
But I think in that as well, like, so. And you see, like in Ephesians 5, it speaks about, like, you know, husbands love your wives as Christ loved the church. Well, I think one of the key things in that is it's a commandment. It's not a case of some lovey-dovey, you know, you make my heart flutter, all of that. He's commanding it. And then it speaks about how wives respect your husbands. Again, it's a commandment. It's not something that's conditional. Like, oh, I'll respect him if he's respectable. Or if he's deserving of it. It's not even that.
So do you think then that people have the wrong concept of love in general then?
Well, but this is the thing. So you're saying in the book it says that women will be women when men will be men. Well, even if your man isn't a man, you're still to be a woman. You're still to respect him. Like, even if he's like blowing all the money, gambling or something like that, or you know, being like an idiot, but you're commanded to respect him, and likewise. I think the man is commanded to love his wife.
So it's crazy that you say that, because I feel like a lot of men, and you see this narrative a lot. You know, guys will feel demasculated because the female's not respecting them. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Or and if it, you know what, and the thing was, you know, like you said, a lot of the time a woman will lose respect for a man because he's not doing what he should be doing. But what you're saying is they should still respect him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But what we see is a lot of the time, guys will not be fulfilling what they're supposed to be doing. They're getting beat down by the female. Do you know what I'm trying to say? In general, and then it just kind of reinforces everything.
I got one. Because what you're saying is that if you're not fulfilling your role as a man, and the Bible says that husbands love your wives, you're technically not fulfilling your role. You're not showing her the love that she needs to be feeling. So therefore, she's gonna feel that particular. Well, I would, in my opinion, she's gonna feel that particular way towards you, as if she's not being loved. Therefore, she's not gonna know her. You're kind of tainting what her role's meant to be.
But then, if you're gonna bring a biblical aspect into that, then what Tyrone just said is that you're supposed to be regardless.
Yeah,
So
because
regardless.
On both ends.
Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. How did Christ love the church?
Okay.
Yo, the church, bro. Like, just look at Israel, for example. Bro, all they ever did was, if you put it in the context of a relationship, cheating on Jesus. Do you know what I mean? They did nothing good, nothing good whatsoever. They weren't deserving of salvation in any way, shape, or form. And then you commanded to love your wife as Christ loved the church.
Okay.
So it's like, boom, how did Christ love the church? He forgave the church when the church didn't need forgiving. Wasn't deserving of being forgiven. He showed mercy when the church wasn't deserving of showing mercy. Showed love when the church wasn't deserving of being loved. And that's how we're commanded to love.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the woman. The woman's commanded to love her husband same way, but it's just, I think it's natural for a woman to love, and I think it's natural for a man to respect. But the two kind of clash.
Yeah. But you know, okay.
Like when it's coming from opposite ends.
You gave a great. You talk about Ephesians 5, and it was like you gave it kind of colloquial wise the situation with Israel and of Christ and the church cheated. Whereas, you know, in a marriage, let's be real, there's some Christians that are like, you know, if my husband cheats on me, I'm leaving him. Yeah. And they would point to that was on scripture in Matthew that talks about it. But then my thing is, personally, I'm like, yo, there's no room for divorce in marriage, you know, because I'm like, yo, once you say them vows, my G, do you know what I mean? You're in it, you know, for better, for worse. That's all you need to know. Because worse is when she cheats on you. Worse is when he cheats on you. There's no choice in the matter.
Let's not act like it would be easy.
No, I'm not saying it's easy.
Like it would be easy.
So I'm saying,
I think one of the things is we can't pretend that this is easy, because as we were saying, we've got the ideal and we need to live. We understand the magical, but the reality of what. And some people aren't even married, so we've gone to marriage. But how about before?
But then, do you understand what marriage is then?
But that's the thing. I think you should have a concept of that. You should have a concept of manhood, womanhood, and what marriage is.
But a lot of people don't, and I think that's why we have. But I think a lot of the time we see breakdowns in relationships because of the fact that people don't actually know or assume their roles properly. You know, you know, like and I think.
For example, though, okay, boom, you're a good man. Why, if you know your role, would you then go and choose a woman who doesn't look like a good woman who would make a good wife? I think it all comes down to the choice, because a lot of people, when they speak about like, I've cheated X, Y, Z and all of that stuff, and I know that would be so difficult to deal with, like, but at the end of the day, and I know people can change and stuff like that, so I don't want to make it sound like a brash statement or anything like that, but that's the choice you made. So is it a case of, should you have chose better? What did you base your choosing on? Do you get what I mean? Were them signs there?
It's mad.
Before, like, you know what I mean? Just in their character.
It's mad here, because I was reading we refer back to this book here, and it was one chapter. It was talking about. It gave an example of this guy, and his wife was just like, it was AWOL. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And his husband and the husband was just like kind of not ignoring it, but like putting passive and blaming, like she's doing it because of and it was the fact that he wasn't doing something as a husband. And I'm not saying that it all goes back to the husband, but I'm saying it all does go back to the husband. You know, there's responsibility. Sure. You know, in terms of the breakdown of a relationship, where do you look at yourself? Do you know what I mean? A lot of guys are putting blame elsewhere. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But in fact, okay, what are you not doing? Why they feel this is the response? This is the thing. And I feel like if you're the right woman, and there is a change in the relationship, something that you're not doing as a man, and I think that's a responsibility that we're meant to take on. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, and I don't think a lot of men are ready for that. You know what I mean? Because before, Pat, I can only talk from my own experience. I've put blame elsewhere. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I've been in relationships, and it's only now when I look back, I'm like, wow. I made the same mistake, like bare times. No wonder this was the situation. Do you know what I'm saying? I did the same thing and this is what the situation was. It was only now I was able to look back and be like, yo, you weren't doing this, and you can't expect then for everything else to be plain sailing, because my perspective is, as a man, and I was the first time to get on a leader, you know, meant to be the head of the household. I didn't understand what that meant. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
You thought that everyone just had to listen to your voice.
This is what I'm saying.
I think as well.
So I was going to ask about the expectations of a relationship, and what do you expect to come out of a relationship? Let's not talk marriage. Let's talk when you first meet a girl, what do you expect to come out of that relationship? What expectations do you go in with?
Yeah. My thing is about purpose.
Okay.
And I'm very focused on, okay, what is the purpose that I'm here for?
Yeah.
And ultimately, I've got to be with somebody that we're gonna walk together to fulfill that purpose.
100%.
And I think
missional marriage.
you've got to understand that. You've got to understand that. And I think oftentimes, because we're unaware of our individual purpose, so we don't know who we're looking for to go on the journey with. So we go on the journey with anybody. And obviously,
and when you find yourself, or let's say find your journey,
you realise that
yeah.
So and I think so. Purpose. That's for me personally.
Yeah, 100. I think different now that I'm married to how I did prior to me.
Like when you were engaged.
Go on,
Yeah, prior to when I was looking, I think different now, just because like my reading's more based around how I understand not just women. I'm not trying to understand women. I'm trying to understand my wife. Do you understand? Like, so I'm trying to read based on that basis.
That's deep.
Specificity.
Within
I don't care about other women.
Yeah, within reason. I don't care about other women like that. Like, I don't care about how you feel right now. That's not my business. Understand? I ain't got that intimacy there. Like, that's my business. I want to know how my wife feels. So, like, in that, I was looking for, like, when I was looking, I had like my list, my key ideals.
His checklist, isn't it?
Right.
Key ideals.
And like, and I talk to you man about this, my key ideals. And I say that they're key ideals because I will never deviate from them, I will never be disloyal to them, and this is what matters. You understand? So my key ideals would then kind of dictate what the relationship would look like. So for me, like, my key ideals were, first of all, she has to be Christian, and I don't mean their sense as Christian. You know, just the person who ticks the box when the letter comes through the door. Yo, I went to church a couple of times. I mean, like, yo, she has a heart for God. Do you know what I mean? She has to serve in her church, because you're talking about purpose. My heart is to serve in my church. So if I'm away serving at church and that's a problem for her, bro, like, because she just wants to spend face time, like, there's gonna be time for that. But when I'm taken away from what God's called me to, because you just want face time, like, we have a mission for our relationship. We have a purpose. So like, she has to be a woman who serves herself. Not just understand, she has to serve herself, bro. You know what I mean? She has to be giving, because I want to be a person who gives. She has to be someone who's loving, because I need that. And she has to be a person who respects her parents, because if she don't respect her parents, why would she respect me? You get me? Like, people think, you come in a relationship, it's gonna change. It won't change, bro. She's like disrespectful to her dad. Born you, and you might not have raw like that. Like, yo, we're not talking anymore. Like, nah, like, because why would that change? How am I gonna change that? I leave that to God.
Those key ideals. Were those key ideals like spirit led then? Basically.
Yeah. They were like
biblical principles. Biblical
principles, and it was just like it was a bit of an analysis of me, in the sense of, you know, when you like look inside yourself, you look at your vulnerabilities and you see what you need, and it's not a case of like, I needed to feed my insecurities. It's not even that, but like, yo, what do I need as a man? Do you know what I mean? Because that can like lead you astray, like feeding insecurities.
I've heard some madness come out of man's mouth. You know, I heard a brother say, "Yo, I asked him, why you with this girl? Cause she needs me, man. She's really vulnerable, and I just like that she relies on me for all this stuff." I was like,
see, that's too
I was like, bro, you're an idiot, you know. Cause like that was low key sickening to my head. I was like, that's a bit like, do you know what I mean? And it's not good, because you're using a relationship to feed what's lost in you. You know what I'm saying? And you need to be trying.
Because people see it as the 50-50 come together to complete each other. It's like, like the two make a whole relationship. It's like, you need to be a whole people come together.
Yeah. It's an age.
Very.
Tizzle, baby.